unlock the boundless potential hidden within your mind, unveil the secrets to a life of extraordinary achievement, vibrant health, and unwavering happiness. Unblock Your Mind is your key to personal transformation, inspired by the timeless wisdom of mental chemistry. Haanel's profound insights into the power of thought have guided generations towards lasting success. Now, Unblock Your Mind distills his transformative teachings, offering a practical roadmap to harness your mental faculties and shape your reality. As you get stronger than self-limiting ideas and liberate yourself from the mental chains that confine you, maintain a constant state of confidence and exude assurance in all facets of your life. Make your wildest hopes and aspirations come true by bringing them to life. Navigate life's obstacles with courage and elegance, and overcome hardship with resilience. Unleash the creative wellspring that resides within you, and ignite your creative potential. Encourage peaceful interactions and establish stronger connections with people. Unblock Your Mind is an invitation to awaken the sleeping giant within you, not just an audiobook. The methods and strategies offered here will enable you to reach your full potential, whether your goals are to become a top performer in your line of work, enhance your well-being, or just lead a more satisfying life. Have the guts to defy convention. Accept the unusual with courage. Unlock your mind to start a life-changing journey filled with endless possibilities. Chapter 1. Beyond Positive Thinking. This book will show you the amazing truth that your feelings, thoughts, and behaviors are true reflections of who you are. Power comes from energy, and thought is energy. Religions, sciences, and philosophies have all placed more emphasis on this energy's manifestations than on the energy itself throughout history. As a result, we are now just aware of the results and have neglected or misinterpreted the underlying causes. This explains the existence of ideas like good and evil in philosophy, positive and negative in science, and God and the devil in religion. But reversing this process is the key to realizing your full potential. You may design a life that is abundant, harmonious, healthy, or anything else you want by concentrating on the reasons behind your experiences. The countless stories from readers of this book are a testament to the transformative power of understanding the true cause of your experiences. They have discovered how to manifest health, wealth, and happiness in their lives. Life is meant to be an expression of your true self, and it's yours to shape harmoniously and constructively. Pain, misery, misfortune, illness, and poverty are not necessary. By purifying your thoughts and aligning with the laws of abundance, you can eliminate these negative experiences and tap into the unlimited source of all that you need. Imagine controlling your luck, fortune, and destiny as easily as a captain steers a ship or an engineer drives a train. This is the power that awaits you when you understand the true nature of your I. Your physical body and your mind are merely instruments that your I uses to achieve its purposes. Your I is the spiritual source of true power that arises within you when you realize your true nature. The most amazing gift your I possesses is the power of thought. Yet, few people know how to think constructively and correctly. By mastering this power, you can create the life you've always dreamed of. Most people let their thoughts wander aimlessly, focusing on selfish desires. This is the natural result of an immature mind. But as the mind matures, it realizes that the seeds of defeat are sown in every selfish thought. A trained mind understands that every transaction should benefit everyone involved. Any attempt to profit from another's weakness, ignorance, or need will inevitably backfire. This is because the individual is part of a larger whole, and one part cannot be against another. The well-being of each part depends on recognizing the common interest. Those who grasp this principle have a significant advantage in life. They don't boast or brag. They easily eliminate unproductive thoughts and focus intently on any subject. They don't waste time or money on things that don't benefit them. You haven't made the required effort if you can't currently perform these tasks. It is still possible to begin, though. Your efforts will be directly correlated with the outcomes you obtain. "I can be what I will be" is one of the most potent affirmations you may employ to bolster your will and access your inner strength. Consider who and what this I really is each time you repeat this affirmation. Achieve a profound comprehension of your actual essence. As long as your objectives are positive and in line with the universe's creative principle, you will achieve invincibility if you do. Use this affirmation as often as you remember it during the day, morning, night, and all year round. Continue to use it until it gets ingrained in you. Develop a habit out of it. It's best not to start at all if you don't intend to finish. According to contemporary psychology, we develop the habit of failure, complete and humiliating failure, when we begin something and don't finish it, or when we make a commitment and don't follow through on it. If you decide to do something, do it. Don't let anything or anyone interfere. The I within you has decided. The die is cast. There's no more discussion. Start with small things you know you can control and gradually increase the effort. Never, under any circumstances, allow your I to be overruled. With time, you'll find that you can control yourself and, in turn, influence the world around you. People and things will respond to your desires without any apparent effort on your part. It's not as odd or unfeasible as it sounds. Recall that the I governs the inner world and that I is a component of and one with the infinite I, the spirit or universal energy that is frequently referred to as God. This goes beyond a simple hypothesis or assertion offered to support a notion. The greatest schools of theological and scientific thinking acknowledge this reality. Herbert Spencer said, "Nothing about the mysteries that surround us is more certain than the fact that an infinite and eternal energy is always present and is the source of all that exists." In a powerful address to students at Bangor Theological Seminary, Lyman Abbott proclaimed a shift in our understanding of God. We are coming to think of God as dwelling in man, rather than working on man from without. Science begins this quest, but it can only go so far. Science discovers the eternal, omnipresent energy, but it's religion that finds the power behind this energy and locates it within us. This is not a new revelation. The Bible states the same truth clearly and convincingly. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the living God? Herein lies the secret of the incredible creative power of the inner world and the key to mastering our lives. Self-mastery is not about deprivation or self-denial. It's about becoming a channel for the universe to express itself through us. The universe constantly seeks to express itself and looks for the most active channel, where it can do the most good and provide the greatest service to humanity. To become that channel, we must quiet our senses, seek inspiration, focus our mental activity inward, and live in the knowledge of our oneness with omnipotence. We must contemplate the spiritual opportunities available to us through the omnipresence of power, visualize the circumstances where these spiritual connections can manifest, and realize that the essence and soul of all things are spiritual. These mental activities belong to the inner world, the world of cause. The resulting conditions and circumstances are the effect. This is how we become creators. This is significant labor, the pinnacle of what is honorable. We must regularly seek out silence, since rest is the source of power. We may be motionless amid silence, and we can think when we are still. And the key to all success is thought. Similar to light or electricity, thought is a pattern of movement that is maintained by the law of vibration. The law of love gives it life, the law of growth gives it shape and expression, and the law of growth gives it vitality. It is divine, spiritual, and creative by nature because it is an expression of our spiritual selves. In order for our thoughts to take form and express power, abundance, or any other positive intention, we need to employ our emotions to give them a feeling. This is how we materialize our wants and reach our goals. The essential question is, how can we cultivate the faith, courage, and feeling that lead to success? The answer lies in practice. Mental strength is built in the same way as physical strength, through exercise. When we first think a thought, it may be difficult, but as we think it again and again, it becomes easier. With repetition, it becomes a mental habit, then an automatic response. Eventually, we can't help but think in this new way. We become positive thinkers without a doubt. We are confident and assured. Last week I asked you to relax and let go physically. This week I challenge you to let go mentally. If you practice the exercise from last week for 20 minutes a day, you should be able to relax physically. If you can't, you haven't yet mastered yourself. You're still a slave to circumstance. But let's assume you've mastered the physical relaxation exercise and are ready for the next step, mental freedom. After assuming your usual position and relaxing completely, mentally release all adverse conditions like hate, anger, worry, jealousy, envy, sorrow, annoyance, or disappointment of any kind. You might say you can't let go of these things, but you can. You can do it by mentally deciding to do so through intention and persistence. Some people fail because they allow themselves to be controlled by emotions instead of their intellect, but those guided by intellect will achieve victory. You might not succeed at first, but practice makes perfect. You must expel, eliminate, and completely destroy those negative and destructive thoughts. They are the seeds that constantly germinate into discordant conditions of every conceivable kind. The quality of our thoughts is inextricably linked to our experiences in the external world. This is an inescapable law. It's this correlation between thought and its object that has led people to believe in special providence since time immemorial. Chapter 2. From Concept to Creation. After careful study, you'll realize that every force, object, or conceivable event is the result of the mind in action. Thought is the mind in action, and thought is creative. People are thinking like never before, making this a truly creative era. The universe is rewarding thinkers with its richest prizes. Matter itself holds no power. It's passive and inert. The mind is the true source of force, energy, and power. It shapes and controls matter. Every form that matter takes is simply the expression of a pre-existing thought, but the thought doesn't work through magic. It obeys natural laws, setting natural forces in motion and releasing natural energies. It manifests in your behavior and actions, which in turn affect your friends, acquaintances, and eventually your entire environment. You originate thoughts, and since thoughts are creative, you can create the things you desire. Here's the key. At least 90% of our mental life is subconscious. Those who can't tap into this mental power live with a severe limitation. The subconscious can solve any problem if we know how to direct it. Subconscious processes are always at work, but the question is, will we be passive recipients of this activity, or will we consciously guide it? Will we have a vision of where we're going, avoiding dangers, or simply drift along? We've discovered that the mind permeates every part of the physical body, always capable of being directed or influenced by the authority that comes from the dominant portion of the mind. The mind that fills the body is largely the result of heredity, which is simply the result of the social environment of past generations, acting upon the sensitive and ever-changing forces of life. Understanding this allows us to exercise our authority when undesirable character traits manifest. We can consciously utilize our desirable characteristics and suppress the undesirable ones. The mind that fills our physical body isn't just the result of hereditary tendencies, it's also shaped by our home, work, and social environments. We receive countless impressions, ideas, prejudices, and thoughts from others. Much of this is accepted without examination or consideration. When the conscious mind accepts an idea, it's approved by the subconscious, taken up by the sympathetic nervous system, and built into our physical body. The word becomes flesh. This is how we constantly create and recreate ourselves. Today, we are the result of our past thoughts, and we will be what we are thinking today. The law of attraction doesn't bring us what we merely wish for or what others have. It brings us what we've created through our thought processes, whether conscious or unconscious. These are psychological facts, not theories or assumptions. The process of thought is simple enough for anyone to understand. We must clean our minds daily and keep them clean. Mental, moral, and physical cleanliness are essential for progress. Once this mental cleansing is complete, the remaining material will be suitable for forming the ideals or mental images we wish to realize. Imagine a magnificent estate waiting to be claimed, with vast lands, abundant harvests, flowing water and excellent timber. A spacious, joyful mansion filled with exceptional paintings, a complete library, luxurious details, and every comfort imaginable. All you have to do is confirm your right, take possession, and use it. Use it or lose it. This estate represents mastery of mind and spirit, mastery of practical power. This inheritance is yours. You are the heir. You can claim it, possess it, and utilize its vast riches. Power over circumstances, health, harmony, and prosperity are all assets on your balance sheet. It offers equilibrium and peace. The only cost is the work of studying and reaping its great rewards. It demands no sacrifice except the shedding of your limitations, your slavery, and your weakness. It clothes you in honor and places a scepter in your hands. To attain this inheritance, 3 steps are necessary. First, you must sincerely desire it. Second, you must confirm your claim. Third, you must take possession. These conditions are not burdensome. You're already familiar with the concept of inheritance. Darwin, Huxley, Haeckel, and other scientists have amassed mountains of evidence that inheritance is a law governing evolution. Progressive inheritance gives us our upright posture, our ability to move, our organs of digestion, blood circulation, nerve force, muscular strength, bone structure, and countless other abilities on the physical side. There are even more impressive facts about the inheritance of mental strength, which we can call human inheritance. But there's another inheritance that scientists haven't fully grasped, one that lies beneath and precedes all their investigations. It's a point where they raise their hands in despair, unable to explain what they see. This divine inheritance is alive within you. It's the benevolent force that decreed the original creation, the living emotion that comes from the divine essence within all creation. It originates life, something scientists haven't done and cannot do. It stands above all other forces, supreme and unattainable. No human dimension can surpass it. This infinite flow of life runs through you. You are its access point. Its attributes are what constitute your consciousness. Keeping these doors open is the secret to power. It's worth the effort. The great truth is that the source of all life and power lies within you. People, circumstances, and events may suggest needs and opportunities, but the inner strength and power to respond to these needs are found within. Avoid falsehoods and build a solid foundation for your knowledge of the forces that flow directly from the infinite source, the universal mind of which you are an image and likeness. Those who have taken possession of this inheritance will never be the same again. They've tapped into a sense of power they never dreamed of. They'll never again be timid, weak, hesitant, or fearful. They are inextricably connected to omnipotence. Something within them has awakened. They've suddenly discovered a vast latent capacity they were completely unaware of. This power is internal, but we can't receive it unless we use it. Using it is the condition for possessing this inheritance. Each of us is a channel through which omnipotent power takes form. Unless we use it, the channel becomes clogged, and we can't receive more. This is true in every plane of existence, every field of endeavor, and every vocation in life. The more we give, the more we get. The athlete who wants to gain strength must use the strength they have, and the more they use it, the more they'll gain. The financier who wants to make more money must use the money they have, because only by using it can they earn more. The merchant who doesn't maintain their sales will soon have no income. A business that doesn't provide efficient service will soon lack customers. The lawyer who can't get results will soon have no clients, and so it goes everywhere. Power is contingent upon the proper use of the power already in our possession. This is the truth of power, from which all known power among humans is generated. Spiritual power removes the spirit, and what's left? Nothing. So, if spirit is everything, then the ability to demonstrate all power, whether physical, mental, or spiritual, depends on recognizing this fact. Every possession is the result of an accumulated mental attitude or consciousness of money. This is the magic wand that allows you to receive ideas, formulate plans, and execute them. You'll find as much pleasure in the execution as in the satisfaction of achievement. Now go to your room, take the same seat and position as before, and mentally select a place that's pleasing to you. Create a complete mental picture of it. See the buildings, the surroundings, the trees, friends, relationships, everything. At first you'll find yourself thinking about everything under the sun, except the idea you want to focus on. But don't let this discourage you. Persistence will win, but persistence requires you to practice these exercises every day without fail. Chapter 3. Mastering your mind. You will gain a deeper understanding of your mind, the most remarkable machine ever made, after reading this chapter. You can use it to manifest prosperity, success, strength, health, or any other state you want. Demands are a product of needs, and demands drive action, which yields results. Evolution is continuously constructing our tomorrow from the here and now. Development occurs gradually on both an individual and general level, with capacity and volume always rising. Success is predicated on the highest ideal, the greatest benefit for the greatest number, and understanding that infringing on the rights of others brings remorse and hardship. Goals can be accomplished via aspiration, desire, and persistently and constantly upholding harmonious relationships. The largest barrier is holding on to false beliefs. Inner peace and harmony are necessary for us to be in accord with the everlasting truth. The receiver and transmitter need to be in tune for the intelligence to be received. The mind generates thought, and the mind is creative. But this does not imply that the cosmos will adjust itself to our needs or our beliefs. It implies that we can have a harmonious relationship with the cosmos, and that, in that state, we can request anything to which we are legally entitled, and it will be granted. The universal mind is so wonderful that it's difficult to grasp its available powers, possibilities, and unlimited effects. We've discovered that this mind is not only all intelligence, but also all substance. So how does it take form? How do we achieve the desired effect? Ask any electrician what the effect of electricity will be, and they'll say it's a form of energy, and its effect depends on the mechanism it's connected to. Whether we get heat, light, power, music, or any other marvelous demonstration of power depends on how this essential energy is applied. What effect can thought produce? The answer is that thought is the mind in action, just as wind is air in action. Its effect depends entirely on the mechanism to which it's linked. Thus, this is the key to all mental strength. The mechanism we connect to is the only factor that matters. What mechanism is this? You are aware of the systems created by electrical wizards, such as Bell, Edison, and Marconi, that reduced location, space, and time to mere metaphors. But have you ever considered that someone other than Thomas Edison created the device that you possess to change the universe, the ever-present potential power? We're accustomed to dissecting the workings of the implements we use to till the soil and attempting to comprehend the workings of the automobiles we drive. However, the majority of us are happy to continue living in complete ignorance about the greatest mechanism in human history, the brain. To gain a better understanding of the different impacts this system causes, let's take a closer look at its marvels. First, we exist in a huge mental universe in which we move and live. Our aspirations are directly met by an all-knowing, all-powerful, and all-present reality in direct proportion to our faith and purpose. Our purpose needs to be constructive or creative in order to be in line with the law of our existence. To materialize our purpose, we need to have a strong enough faith to create a powerful enough current of force. Science can examine, and be it unto you according to your faith, still holds up. The individual's contact with the universe produces the results that are seen in the outside world. The brain is the organ used to carry out this activity, which we refer to as thinking. Think about this marvel. Do you enjoy books, music, or flowers? Do you find inspiration in the creativity of old or new ideas? Remember that before you can truly appreciate a work of beauty, every response you have to it must have an analogous counterpart in your mind. The brain is capable of expressing every virtue and principle found in nature's storehouse. The brain is a universe in the embryonic form that can evolve as needed. Understanding that this is a scientific fact and one of nature's amazing laws can help you better comprehend the mechanism underlying these remarkable results. The nervous system can be thought of as an electrical circuit, with its white matter serving as insulated wires that allow current to flow and its battery of cells providing force. All impulses and desires are transported throughout the system via these pathways. The main motor and sensory conduit that carries information from and back to the brain is the spinal cord. It is also the source of the blood that re-energizes and strengthens us as it flows through our arteries and veins. The entire body is supported by the exquisitely designed structure, and the mechanism's lovely, delicate skin acts as a mantle of beauty. Thus, the individual self is in charge here, and this is the temple of the living God. The outcome will depend on our understanding of the controllable mechanism. The brain's cells fire with each thought. The substance directed by the mind does not reply at first, but if the thought is focused and polished enough, the material will finally respond and become perfectly articulated. Any portion of the body can be affected by this mental influence, which eliminates any negative effects. A perfect understanding of the laws governing the mental world is invaluable in business transactions, as it develops the power of discernment and provides clarity in understanding and appreciating facts. The person who looks within, rather than outside, can harness the powerful forces that ultimately determine their course in life, bringing them into harmony with all that is better, stronger, and more desirable. Attention or concentration is probably the most fundamental and important aspect of mental culture development. The possibilities of attention, when correctly directed, are so astonishing that they might seem incredible to the uninitiated. Developed attention is the hallmark of every successful man or woman and is the greatest personal skill one can acquire. The power of attention can be more easily understood by comparing it to a magnifying glass through which the sun's rays can be focused. The rays have no particular force while the glass is moved around, and the rays are directed from one place to another. But hold the glass perfectly still and allow the rays to focus on one point for some time, and the effect becomes immediately evident. So it is with the power of thought. Allow the power to dissipate by directing the thought from one object to another, and there seem to be no results. But focus this power through attention or concentration on any purpose for some time, and nothing will be impossible. For 10 minutes, try focusing your attention on a single goal or object as a straightforward solution to a difficult circumstance. Many people can find this challenging because it requires frequent refocusing on the initial goal due to the mind's tendency to stray. No progress will be gained if, after 10 minutes, you are unable to stay focused, but in the end, you will conquer every challenge on your way to success if you consistently practice paying attention to what is important. The only way to become proficient in this potent skill is to practice consistently. Try taking a picture with you to the same seat in the same room to practice the power of attention and look closely at every aspect of the picture. Next, cover it and make an effort to mentally picture it. Congratulate yourself if you can visualize every detail and see it all clearly. If not, carry on until you are able to. The purpose of this step is to only lay the foundation for the subsequent phase of personal growth. You will eventually be able to manage your mental attitude, state of consciousness, and disposition through these kinds of activities. Prosperous entrepreneurs are often showcasing the advantages of staying in touch with the ideas of other prosperous people. Millions of dollars can be made from a single concept, but they can only reach those who are open to receiving them, mentally equipped to succeed and ready to receive them. Men are grasping fundamental techniques and ideas of cognition, realizing the unity of all things, and learning to harmonize with the universal mind. This multiplies the results while altering the circumstances. They discover that environments and conditions follow the path of spiritual and mental development. Knowledge comes before growth, inspiration leads to action, and opportunity arises from perception. Prioritize the spiritual above all else, since this will change you into a person with limitless opportunities for achievement. When people learn to channel the manifestations of the universe, the possibilities are endless. Thought is the process by which we can absorb the essence of power and hold it in our inner consciousness until it becomes part of us. The method to achieve this is through the persistent practice of basic principles, as explained in this system. This is the master key that unlocks the reservoir of universal truth. Currently, the two great sources of human suffering are bodily illness and mental anxiety. These can be traced to violations of natural law, likely due to our partial knowledge. However, the clouds of darkness accumulated over centuries are beginning to recede, taking with them many miseries caused by misinformation. The realization that a person can change, improve, rebuild themselves, control their environment, and master their destiny is the conclusion of every mind aware of the power of correct thought in constructive action. The power of concentration is the greatest personal skill one can acquire and is the distinguishing characteristic of every successful man or woman. This can be achieved by diligently practicing the exercises in this system. It is crucial because it allows us to control our thoughts, and since thoughts are the cause, situations are the effect. If we can control the cause, we can also control the effect. People are learning the basic method of constructive thinking, which is changing conditions and multiplying results in the objective world. Understanding and harnessing the power of thought is the key to personal mastery and success. Chapter 4. Mastering the Art of Mental Creation. Humanity has always believed in an unseen force that has the ability to reproduce everything and will continue to do so. This power can be named God and given a personality, or it can be understood as the spirit or essence that permeates everything. For the individual, the outcome is the same regardless of how we interpret it. The objective, tangible, and perceptible element is subjective. It is something that is identifiable through the senses and is made up of the body, brain, and nerves. The subjective element is impersonal, unseen, and spiritual. Because the personal is a physical being, it has consciousness. The subconscious is the term used to describe the impersonal, which is the same type and quality as the rest of existence, but is not aware of itself. With the ability to choose and exert willpower, the personal or conscious can make selective decisions when resolving issues. Although it is a component of, and the source of all power, the impersonal or spiritual is powerless over choice, but has access to an endless supply of resources. It can accomplish goals using strategies that are beyond the capacity of the human or individual mind. You can choose to use the unlimited potentialities by using the subconscious mind, or you can rely on human will and all of its limits and prejudices. This is the scientific explanation for the amazing power that is within your reach, should you choose to acknowledge, appreciate, and comprehend it. This fourth section explains how to intentionally employ this all-powerful ability. 1. The act of creating mental images or visualizations is what will serve as the mold or model from which your future will be shaped. 2. Make the design lovely and easy to understand. Don't hesitate to make it spectacular. Recall that you are the only one who can place restrictions on yourself. Use the infinite as your source. Expenses and materials are not constraints. Create it in your mind. It has to be there before it can manifest elsewhere. 3. Make the image accurate and clear. Hold it firmly in your thoughts, and it will gradually make the object more approachable. Recall that you have the freedom to be anyone you choose. This is another well-known psychological fact, but unfortunately, just reading about it won't bring the result you might have in mind. It won't even help you form the mental image, much less manifest it. It requires work, persistence, and strong mental effort, the kind of effort that very few are willing to put in. The first step is idealization, which is also the most important step because it is the blueprint on which you will build. It must be solid and permanent. Just like an architect who plans a 30-story building, visualizes every line and detail from the beginning, or an engineer who determines the requirements of 1,000,000 forces when crossing a chasm with a bridge, you must see the end before taking the first step. You sow the seed when you visualize what you want. However, this is idealization. You must know what you will yield before you plant. If in doubt, go back to the drawing board each day until the picture becomes evident. It will evolve gradually. The broad contours will be hazy at first, but they will solidify with time. The shapes will take shape, then the details, and you'll have the ability to create plans that will come to pass in the real world. You are going to learn what lies ahead. The visualization procedure comes next. You have to notice the image filling in and taking in the details. The methods to make it a reality will become apparent as the details become clear. Thinking will result in doing. Doing will result in developing ways. Doing will result in friendships. Friends will result in situations. And eventually, the third step, materialization, will be accomplished. It is common knowledge that the cosmos existed only in theory before it was actually realized. Our ideas take shape in the same way that the universe did when we heed the instructions of the great architect of the universe. The mind at work within each human is the same, differing only in degree rather than sort or quality. The architect envisions his structure in his mind's eye. His idea turns into a plastic mold from which the structure, big or small, elegant or plain, will grow. His idea is outlined on paper, and eventually the building is constructed to its fullest extent using the required materials. Similarly, the inventor visualizes his idea. Take, for example, Nikola Tesla, who had a tremendous intellect and was one of the greatest minds of all time. He materialized the most astonishing realities by always visualizing his inventions before working on them. Tesla didn't rush to materialize them and then spend time correcting defects. Instead, he built the idea in his imagination, keeping it there as a mental image to be constructed and improved by his thoughts. As he wrote in his book, My Inventions, he was able to quickly develop and perfect a concept without touching anything. When he had advanced enough to incorporate every possible improvement and saw no flaws, he turned the product of his brain into something concrete. His designs invariably worked as he had conceived, and for 20 years he found no exceptions. You will grow in faith if you can consciously follow these steps. This is the kind of faith that is the substance of things hoped for, the proof of things not seen. You will also gain confidence, the kind of confidence that fuels bravery and tenacity. This exercise will increase your ability to focus, so you will be able to block out all other ideas and only think about what you need to get done. Thought will materialize into form, according to a rule. Only those who are able to transform into their own divine thinkers are able to assume the role of master and speak with authority. The only way to gain clarity and conviction is to visualize the scene again in your head. The picture becomes clearer and more accurate with each repeat, and the final manifestation will directly correspond to the image's clarity and precision. Before anything can manifest in the outside world, you have to construct it firmly and securely in your inner mental realm. You cannot build anything of value, even in your mental world, without the right material. When you have the right material, you can build anything you desire, but ensure the quality of your material. You can't make a fine dress out of rags. This material will be created by millions of silent mental workers, shaped into the form of the image you hold in your mind. Think about it. You have more than 5 million of these mental workers called neurons, plus an equal number of reserve forces ready to be called into action at the slightest need. Your power to think is almost limitless, which means your power to create the kind of material necessary to build any environment you desire is practically unlimited. Your body is made up of billions of physical workers, in addition to these millions of mental workers. Each physical worker is intelligent enough to comprehend and act upon any message or suggestion that they receive. While these cells are occupied with building and reconstructing the body, they also possess psychological energy that allows them to draw in the elements required for ideal development. They accomplish this using the same logic and process by which all living forms draw in the elements required for growth. The law of attraction, quiet petition, is how the oak tree, rose and lily get the materials they need for their ultimate expression. The most reliable way for you to obtain what you need for your complete development is to build a mental image, construct it, and it will follow your petition. You will be guided to do the right thing at the right time and in the right way. A sincere desire will attract confident expectations, and this in turn must be reinforced with the firm petition. These three things, sincere desire, confident expectation, and firm petition, will unfailingly lead to achievement. Sincere desire is the feeling, confident expectation is the thought, and the firm petition is the will. As we have seen, feeling provides vitality to thought, while will keep it firmly in place until the law of growth brings it to manifestation. Isn't it remarkable that humans possess such immense power within themselves, yet have little awareness of these extraordinary faculties? It's strange that we've always been taught to seek strength and power externally, looking everywhere except within. Whenever this power manifests in our lives, we've been told it's something supernatural. Today, many have come to understand this amazing power and have made serious, conscious efforts to take control of their health, power, and other conditions. Yet they often fail. They can't seem to make the law work. The difficulty in almost all cases is that they focus on the external. They desire money, power, health, and abundance, but don't realize these are effects that only come when the cause is found. Those who don't pay attention to the external world will seek only to confirm the truth, seeking only wisdom. They will find that this wisdom reveals and discloses the source of all power, which manifests in thought and purpose, creating the desired external conditions. This truth will express itself in noble purpose and courageous action. Focus on creating beautiful and opulent inner worlds, not on external conditions. Your outer world will then reflect and manifest the conditions you hold within. Understand your power to create ideals, and those ideals will be projected into the world of effects. Let's say, for instance, that a man has debt. He will keep returning to the debt in his thoughts. Because ideas are causes, this means that he not only makes sure the debt doesn't go away, it gets worse. He is implementing the big law of attraction, which inevitably leads to more loss in the usual course of events. So, what is the right principle? Give yourself plenty. Envision the best strategies and ideas for implementing the law of abundance. Imagine the circumstances that the law of abundance brings about. Manifestation will result from this. If the law is ideally suited to attract poverty, want, and all manner of constraints to people who persistently harbor thoughts of scarcity and terror, it will also be well suited to draw conditions of lavishness and plenty to people who consistently harbor thoughts of strength and bravery. A difficult issue for many people is this one. We frequently exhibit tension, worry, and anxiety because we are overly nervous. We want to help and we want to do something. It's similar to a young child who has just planted a seed and is checking on it every 15 minutes with a shovel. In those conditions, the seed will never sprout. In our mental lives, a lot of us behave precisely like this. Planting the seed and letting it grow will allow us to be ready to act when the moment is right. The most powerful tool for learning is the power of the mind, which can also solve any problem if it is focused on it. Nothing is beyond the reach of the human intellect, but in order to use this ability, one must concentrate mental energy to achieve desired results. Recall that the power of thought is what generates the steam needed to turn the wheel of fortune that determines the course of your experiences. After posing a few questions to yourself, respectfully await your replies. Do you always follow the herd, or do you always believe in your own inner voice? Recall that most people lead always and never follow. What became of the people who opposed the steam engine, the automatic loom, and all other suggested advancements and improvements? For your exercise this week, visualize a friend. See them exactly as you saw them last. Remember the room, the furniture, and the conversation. Now, see their face clearly. Talk to them about a topic of mutual interest. Watch their expression change. See them smile. Can you do it? You can then awaken their interest, tell them an adventure story, and see their eyes light up with joy or excitement. If you can do all this, your imagination is strong and you are making excellent progress.